Hi, I'm Melvin Morgan from Loving My Temple, and today I want to show you how to make salad in a jar. Now, this is one of my favorite recipes to make because for busy families, busy lifestyles, it's one of the easiest things that you can prep as well as to just make for your family on the fly. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started and just let you know what ingredients we're putting in the salad in a jar today. So first we have our jar. Now this one, I like to call this my family size. For this jar, it feeds our family of 6. Now mind you, our 6 has a few small little people, but you can do 2 of these jars and it will be really nice sized salads for your family. So we're doing 1 today. We also have all of our beautiful array of things that are easily, you can easily get from the grocery store year round, and it's affordable for majority of budgets. So here we have our tomatoes. We have everything pre-cut and prepped to make it easier to show you how quick it is to build the jars up. So nice fresh organic tomatoes. We have pre-peeled cucumbers. You don't have to peel them, but if you choose not to peel them, just make sure you get an organic variety to minimize the harmful pesticides, and then to wash it in alkaline water and vinegar to help get the rest of it off, because even though it's organic, they still use pesticides. It's just more of an organic variety. So then we have chickpeas. This is a canned variety, something that most families will have. You can use a dry variety. You just have to cook them first, obviously, to make sure they go in here. And it's one of the things that I love because it adds a beautiful protein to the dish, which is plant-based. So that really helps those that want to get plenty of protein in their system. And it's a very versatile bean. So I love having that in salads. Then for this, we have cabbage. Cabbage adds a nice contractual crunch to the lettuce that we're using. So I just like to do nice clean cuts on that and to add that in there with the lettuce, which you'll see in a bit. And then we have our lettuce variety. This one, I just love the flavor profile of the red leaf lettuce. So it's just something that's beautiful, simply, gently washed and put in a bowl and prep, ready to go. And you just rough cuts, don't have to be too pretty, which I like because families typically aren't too picky. And then we have our Gala apples that just adds a sweet profile, which is wonderful in salads. It definitely adds a little difference for the savory. And then we have our nuts. The nuts will be one of the last things that you put on there because I'll explain how we do the jar in a minute. But if you like nuts in your salad to add just a different flavor, this is definitely good to go. And then the last thing is that I love to make my own vinaigrettes for our family. So this has rice wine vinegar, grapeseed oil, a little bit of salt, and we have a natural syrup to add the sweetness. So when you're making your own vinaigrette, just making sure you have a vinegar and oil, some kind of seasoning, and a sweetener. You put that together to your likings, to your preference, and it's perfect for salads. Really easy, really affordable to do. And then the last thing I have here is my lime. I like to squeeze that on my cucumbers at the last minute. It just adds a beautiful flavor profile that marries well with the cucumber, as well as it helps preserve it a little bit longer. Because if you want to keep this up for a week, you want to make sure that everything is crisp and beautiful, nothing's weird, because you know how babies are. They whine about their food being weird textures. So now we're going to get to the jar. So when it comes to the jar, you want to pack it from wet to dry. So what does that look like? You want to put your vinaigrette in. Then you want to put the beans in because that will soak up all that beautiful flavor. Then you want to put the more wet ingredients. So you start with the tomatoes, so you do the cucumbers. Then in this case, you would put the cabbage because that can soak it up and be just fine. The lettuce. Then you want to do, or you could do the apples, then the lettuce, depending on your preference. Then you can do the walnuts, and then you can just jar it up. So we're going to put that in action. So let's do that now. So as I said, vinaigrette goes first. So I'm just scraping off my spoon and pouring that in there. As you can see, it doesn't have to be perfected, nothing crazy. And that's really what it comes down to because our schedules, they're busy enough. We don't need to make anything too fussy. So the next thing is the chickpeas. I'm using my hands because my family loves me. They know my hands are clean. If you're making it for other people, I definitely recommend using a spoon or something, but they'll get over it. So we're going to pour this in here gently and try not to make too much of a mess, like I already am. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to put in here are the tomatoes. And tomatoes are just beautiful and juicy. Our family, we're going to be eating this pretty much right away, and our children love it. And it's one of the best things that you can do to get your kids involved. If you want them to join the process of making salads, they become more interested in actually eating them, which is wonderful. So here we go, about to put the cucumber in. So I'm going to put my lime in there and just get that nice and squeezed on top. if it'll squeeze for me. There we go. And again, it just helps preserve and add a beautiful flavor profile. So I add that to there. And then I'm gonna add my cucumber in there. Now, people have different preferences, so if you don't want your tomato to get too saturated because the moisture does come down, you can put the tomato first if you like your cucumbers a little bit more wet. So definitely go with your profile. As well as for my family, I like to put a little bit of salt on the cucumber. Again, it just adds a different flavor, so if your family likes seasonings, go for it. Go crazy and love it. So here I'm gonna put the cabbage because I do want it to soak up some of that flavor from the cucumber. And you can see how it's already getting pretty full and packed quick, which is great. So I'm gonna add a little bit of apple, a little lot bit of apple, and then here's my lettuce. Now, like I said, our family, we're gonna eat this really quickly. So I'm going to save this lettuce and I'm gonna put it in a big old bowl so that we can have it later. But this is just for the demo so you can see how it comes down. But see, like I'm pushing it in, I'm packing it down, and then I'm adding a little bit more lettuce here. And then I'm gonna add my walnuts on top. This will help keep the walnuts dry so they're not soaked in a weird texture at the bottom. And there's your salad in the jar. So then all you have to do from here is close the jar up. And you can put this beautiful bad boy in the refrigerator and it will last for your family up to a week. I hope you found this helpful, and as always, you can email me at nava@lovingmytemple.com. Take care. Shalom.